So today we are making this buttermilk lemon mascarpone panna cotta. It's a great way to use up some leftover dairy that you might have in the fridge, and certainly is delicious and easy. So stay tuned, you'll see how I make it. First step is to dissolve some gelatin in a quarter cup of cold water. So I'm just using one packet of gelatin and just following the instructions. That goes into the quarter cup of water, and we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes in order to bloom. Well, we go to the stove and do the whipping cream. So on the stove here, I've got half a cup of sugar, and into that I am going to put 2 cups or 1 container of heavy cream or whipping cream. So that's 35% cream. I'm going to add that in on moderate heat and just mix it up so that the sugar gets incorporated. We want to heat this to the point where it's hot, but not actually boiling. So it's about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can sort of tell when it's getting there, but I do check it with a thermometer here just to make sure. And yeah, it was about 180 degrees. So that's good. And what I'll do then is just turn off the heat and give it one more stir. And now it is ready for the gelatin. So heat goes off, and that gelatin you can see there has bloomed. So it's basically like a solid lump in the bowl, and that needs to dissolve. So it needs the hot cream to dissolve it. So we put that in and just mix it around for, it takes about a minute really to break up and get incorporated with the cream and sugar. And now that is ready. We're just going to let that sit for a couple of minutes and work on the mascarpone. So I've got half a container of mascarpone, and that's about 4 ounces. So if I had more, I'd use it, but this is pretty forgiving. So we're going to just sort of whip that up a little bit. And now I've got about 2 cups of buttermilk, and this is left over from the cornbread recipe, so didn't want to go to waste. So I'm adding it in sort of 2 tranches here, and just going to mix it up until it is fully incorporated and smooth. Going to add about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. If you like vanilla flavor, you can add a little bit more. We'll mix that up, and then the final element here is I had a lemon in the fridge, so I'm going to use the zest of that and get that in there. And I'm going to use the juice from this lemon a little bit later on in the recipe as well. So you can see that nice yellow color. We'll whip that up, incorporate fully, and now we are ready to add just a pinch of salt. And now we're going to add in the hot whipped cream mixture. So that we'll just whisk it in and pour it in sort of in a steady stream. There aren't any eggs in here, so I don't really have to worry too much about it clumping up. So we'll mix that, and really that's about it. Now, once it's smooth, it is ready to start putting into your containers. You can see here, looks nice and smooth and creamy. For containers, I've got 1 ramekin I'm going to use just for presentation purposes, but I'm actually going to put the rest of them in these small deli containers. They're just a little bit more convenient to have in the fridge. So I'm going to ladle it out, and there's enough here for 8 containers. Certainly, if you're doing this for a dinner party, you'd use 8 ramekins. And here we have it. We have our 8 containers of the panna cotta, and they go into the fridge for about 4 hours till they're set. The handy thing with the deli containers is they come with lids, so you can just snap the lids on, and then just it's a little easier than dealing with cellophane wrap. So while that's in the fridge, the final step here, again, I don't want to waste anything. So I've got a quarter cup of sugar, and I juiced that lemon that I used for the zest, and throwing that in with the lemon juice. And I'm just going to bring this to a simmer and stirring constantly. I want it to reduce a little bit, and this is going to create like a lemon syrup that we can use to top the panna cotta before serving. So just a nice touch, not really necessary, but we had the lemon, so we might as well use it. So we'll just let that cool, and it'll be ready when the panna cotta comes out of the fridge. So here is the finished product, and certainly looks nice in the ramekin. You can see it's pretty well set. I'm not going to turn this out on a plate, which you could do for serving. I only used 1 pack of gelatin, and the 1 packet really isn't enough for it to hold its form if you take it out of the ramekin. If you want to do that, I would use a pack and a half, or even 2 packages of gelatin for the amount of liquid that we had in this recipe. But it's nice to eat it right out of the ramekin. It's a little less gelatiny then. So on top of that, I am going to add that simple syrup with the lemon that I reduced earlier. So I'm just going to drizzle that on top, and it will spread out and just provide a nice little bit of color, and also a nice tart yet sweet lemon flavor to the panna cotta. And time to go in and give it a shot. So here I'm going to take a spoonful, and you can see got some nice texture there, some nice jiggle, so that's good. It's holding up, and giving it a taste, and it is delicious. Certainly it's tart from both the buttermilk and the lemon, but sweet at the same time, and very light. So certainly be a nice finish to a meal or as a snack. And I certainly hope that you give it a shot. Really, you can do this with pretty much any dairy that you might have in your fridge. Whether you got some cream cheese, mascarpone, whipping cream, buttermilk here, it's all pretty flexible. So give it a shot. Thank you very much.